Hi everyone, Dan Julian here, nurse practitioner for Danesthetics Medical, and our clinic is located here in Ottawa, Canada. Today I'm going to show you guys how to create a little bit more prominence of the eyebrow bone and also how to kick up the tail of the eyebrows oh so slightly using dermal fillers. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're placing filler underneath the lateral aspect of the eyebrow and the temple region. I want to make sure that I'm avoiding essential arteries. Where are they located? Well, 99% of the time, you're going to have deep and superficial temporal arteries that lie 1.8 centimeters behind this orbital rim. That way. What about the other 1%? Well, because there are outliers in medicine, nothing is 100%. I personally use an ultrasound to go ahead and identify where these arteries are and to confirm that I'm staying away from them. Then I'll go ahead and use a needle. If I'm using a cannula, depends on the gauge of the cannula, it's a little safer and I may not necessarily need the ultrasound. This is a personal choice. Now, understanding that, these arteries also run right across the frontalis and connect to the supraorbital and supratrochlear arteries. I also need to know about the location of these because whenever I'm placing filler underneath there, I want to avoid hitting them. Where do they start? You can actually feel the notch underneath the eyebrow right around here. So just medial aspect of the iris, which is the colored part of your eye, that's usually where you're going to feel that little notch. Once you feel it, you know that that artery starts from there, runs deep, and moves parallel up. So whenever I'm coming in, I'm actually going to be injecting here with a cannula. Some people do it with a needle, but I definitely want to mark out where that lies, and I don't want to go anywhere near it. Now, before I get onto the injection technique, I know you guys appreciate these videos, especially with my assistant Sarah here, but if you're looking for something more detailed with a live person with detailed instructions, consider joining my Patreon. It's going to really help elevate your game, and it really helps me too. Let's get on with it. So now for the good part, I'm going to bring in my lovely assistant Sarah. Say, hey Sarah, what do we see? We see the superficial and deep temporal arteries connecting to those two arteries that we talked about, supratrochlear, supraorbital. And we want to avoid all these, right? So in order, this is how I approach dermal fillers here. There's no real exact science if you should do the temporal first or do the eyebrow. I go ahead and do the eyebrow first, personally. So this little X here is my first entrance point whenever I'm using a cannula. I'm going to make a little poke here, and then after that I'm going to take a cannula and go underneath the muscle and place filler right here. Now the type of filler that I'm going to use there is going to be high enough G prime. I want a little lift here. I don't want anything too doughy because it's going to flatten out and then they're going to get additional heaviness in here with additional filler. I want that filler to stay there and I want it to provide lift. Something that's going to be pretty firm. And that's what I'm going to use right in here. And then after that, I'm going to take out the cannula and I'm going to use whatever's left and I'm going to make an injection right here. This is the temporal crest. This is that line that I was talking about right here. And I'm going up 1 centimeter up and 1 centimeter down, and that's my X marks the spot. That's where I'm going to make a bolus. This superficial temporal artery is the one that's closest to it, and because it's close and it's superficial, I'm going to inject deep onto the bone. So I'm going to place my bolus right here, inject, aspirate if need to, but if I used an ultrasound, I don't need to aspirate. And then after that, I'm going to place a bolus here. Usually the total amount here is like 0.1 to 0.2. And then for here, it really depends on the void. This could range from 0.2 to like a whole syringe sometimes. So it really depends on how much volume loss there is in the temple. But that does a great job of providing a little bit of brow prominence and also kicking up the tail because now you've added additional tension behind it. Now, what about this part right up here? What is that? Well, often enough what you'll notice is that whenever you're recreating the bone and when you're recreating that volume loss from the temple, you're going to see a little bit of hollowing right here. So I'll go ahead and I'll take a different type of filler, something that's thinner, and I'm going to fan in a little bit of filler right here using my same entrance point right there. And this is going to make a smoother transition from the eyebrow to the forehead. It's also going to restore some volume that's lost there, and it creates a much more natural look. It looks beautiful. This tends to last for a year. There's not much movement there, and clients generally love it. So that's it for me, guys. If you have any other requests for dermal filler videos, send them my way. Put some comments down and I'm more than happy to give you guys what you're looking for. Ideas are always welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Take care of yourselves, exercise daily, and please be nice to absolutely everyone. Take care.